Hey there, we're back, and this time we're talking about not moving to Northwest Arkansas. There's some things that our clients bring up when they come here to look around, or when they actually move here. They're like, "Oh man, this is kind of different than where I came from," or they don't have these amenities.
Frustrated by these things.
Yeah, some things.
We just don't have like banks and some maybe our travel or maybe some of our medical facilities. But we're going to talk about all that right now. And so the first thing that we're going to talk about is our banking system. We've had 4 or 5 closings in the past 6 months where a buyer had a bunch of cash in a bank and it was like Wells Fargo or Chase. We don't have those here.
What?
We don't have a big national bank chain here.
No, we have a whole bunch of local banks that,
regional banks.
We got lots of banks here. We got lots of banks.
Plenty of banks.
But we don't have a Chase. We don't have a Wells Fargo. There's a few other brands that we don't have.
Bank of America, we don't have.
Yeah, and so when it came to closing day, they had to run to Tulsa or Kansas City to go do a wire transfer, and it became an ordeal and a frustration.
A whole thing.
Yeah, and so when you're moving here and when you're looking at it, be cautious of that. Just be aware of what banks are here, what bank you use, and what's here and what's not.
Okay.
We have many fine banks here that will work for you. Just know that if moving large sums of money is an issue, that you'll need to have time accounting for that. Another one that we hear is we don't have the largest airport in the world. Honestly, I love it when I go to the airport. It's not like you're going to a major international airport or even a large regional airport. So there's 4 baggage claims. You're only going to ever battle that many people at baggage claim.
Yeah, it's really small.
It's really small. There's plenty of parking.
If I'm dropping Alan off, I can drop him off, and he can be in security line and almost through security line by the time I get out of the driveway of the airport. And it takes about 5 minutes to drop him off, in and out, and then bam, I'm back to Cave Springs. It's very convenient. The inconvenient part that we've heard from some clients is our airport goes to about 12 to 16 places. Chicago, Dallas, Orlando, a few other places, obviously, Denver. But it just became more difficult and a little bit more expensive to travel via XNA, our regional airport in Bentonville area. And so that's the frustration that we're hearing about. It's not as convenient as their super huge airport that they were used to.
But in other ways, it's way more convenient than their super huge airport. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So there's a give and take there. And just
right.
Point number 3 is medical. Now, we have a bunch of hospitals.
Yes.
We have a children's hospital. We have a OBGYN hospital. We have a very good, highly rated VA hospital.
We have a specialty oncology.
And so we've got a really good wide variety of medical services, but it just may not be to the level that you're used to from where you're coming from. So that's all.
We don't have a Mayo Clinic here, or what have you. So.
Or a super duper heart center that is world renowned. That's just not here.
At Northwest, they worked on my heart. Everything's good.
Yeah. And so if you're used to the best of the best, and you're from the East Coast or the West Coast, and typically that's where they seem to be, where these best places are. If you're used to that, that may not be here. So just be cautious of that. Do a little bit of research, ask some questions, be thinking about that.
Yeah, the other one is that we hear people say is, oh, they don't have this restaurant here or that restaurant and so on. And, we got a lot of great restaurants.
Beautiful.
So we have a wide variety of restaurants, a lot of smaller restaurants, not so many of the big chains that you would see in big cities. As you can tell, I eat a lot of restaurants. We're in no short supply of restaurants. It's all good. There's plenty to eat here.
Yeah, there's plenty of options. Sometimes my wife and I like a wide variety. We went to Kansas City the other month, and they had all these different ethnic varieties of foods that you could eat, and it was like, oh man, I want to go eat some Korean hot pot, and then like all these different things. It was wonderful. We just don't have that wide of a variety here. We have some good options.
Amazing.
But it's not as wide. So if you're used to menagerie of options for your restaurant dining out enjoyment, just do some research, look it up, ask us, whatever you want to do. Reach out to us, ask us what kind of restaurants are in the area, what kind of medical facilities are in the area, what it's like, what kind of banks would be best to go with. Reach out to us days, nights, weekends, text, email, whatever you got. we would love to answer your questions and just point you in the right direction.
You know, on that, I'll actually throw in entertainment as well.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we have great options for entertainment, but it's not like when you're coming from a big city. We don't have an opera house, and we don't have large-scale playhouses and things like that. We do have some great opportunities. We've got the Walton Art Center. We've got Theater Squared, as well as the Fayetteville Theater, that bring in some great shows. So it's not just, it's going to be on a different scale than as you're, you know, in a major city where they have these playhouses that seat thousands. We went to Theater Square for a show a couple months ago, and I think it seats a couple hundred. So it's a smaller scale, still some great shows come to town. But between the shows and like the art scene or whatever, if that's your thing, you know, that's not really as strong here as it would be in some of the places where you might be coming from.
And I can only think of 2 comedy clubs in the area.
Yeah.
So that brings us to taxes. Everybody loves taxes, right? You know, CPAs love them. They get paid that day.
Get paid.
So property taxes. So we have property taxes here. That happens.
Well, luckily that it's so affordable compared to other areas.
Many places.
Yeah. So we were showing a property recently to somebody that's coming from out of state, and we were explaining the taxes on this particular property, and they were blown away. They're like, where we're coming from, the taxes would be 5 times higher. So our taxes were 20% of what they were paying where they were. Yeah, and they're getting twice the house here. So your money goes a long way here. We do have the sales tax, so as you're going and buying dinner and so on, you're going to have some tax on that.
Yeah.
And we do have a state income tax. It is annoying.
6.9% at the
It's
highest
annoying.
tier.
Yeah.
And there's 6 tiers to it, but who knows? We'll find out in the future. We'll see that. My second job ever was at a Costco. And I love Costco. I think the selection is just different and better than Sam's Club, even though we're in the heart of Sam's Club here.
I rebuke that. I love a Sam's Club, but anyway,
I like Sam's
to each his
Club,
own.
but Costco just has a different variety. They just have a different appeal to it, and we don't have a Costco here. Closest one is in Tulsa, and the same thing for Trader Joe's. You know, my wife likes going to Trader Joe's, and they have a wide variety of little snacks and knick-knack things there that really tasty.
For my wife's birthday, about every other year, she wants to go to Trader Joe's. So we take the 2-hour trek to Tulsa to go to Trader Joe's. Now, all that said, Costco and Trader Joe's aside, and then some other national things that are kind of on the horizon too.
Yeah, so we actually, in the next 12 months, both of those will be here. In Rogers area, Rogers Lowell, Costco and Trader Joe's are supposed to be building their...
Supposed to be.
Yeah, supposed to be. There's plans that it's been announced, so we'll follow that closely. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's soon to be a yay. And let's just talk about the market status, like what we're seeing for like rentals right now. Like a lot of frustration with people moving here to get a rental so they can explore for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And then land in a neighborhood.
Yeah, but the prices are so high on rentals. I mean, we kind of look at it as a price per square foot, but the price per square foot on rentals is sky high, and it varies from area to area. But it's substantial, and it can be competitive with some of those larger markets where people are paying top dollar. If you're moving here, if you're coming to check it out, we encourage you to just plan ahead. We're going to find that right house and get you in it so that you don't have to spend that top dollar on rentals.
Yeah. And then just the availability of rentals is one big frustration. You know, the price of it is frustrating. Then the availability. We have right now, when this video is made in May of 23, there was 1,527 houses for sale in Benton and Washington County. So there's from zero to millions of dollars. There's 1,530 houses.
And by the way, that inventory is half of what it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's half of what it was before COVID. So we are still in a diminished inventory status. And so that's how many houses are for sale. How many houses are for rent that go on the MLS is like 190, maybe.
A lot less.
A lot less,
Yeah.
and there's usually these voids right where people want, you know, I want to live in Springdale, and that's where they want to rent. Well, there's just no options there. They maybe want...
You can get an apartment, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And there's a lot of apartment building going up. There's a lot of townhomes being built. So those are becoming new options, but there's a lot of people moving here, and it just becomes a frustration. And this is what we want to alleviate is frustrations. The moving process should not be full of frustrations, and we want to alleviate that stress. And so reach out to us whenever you want to, and we would love to direct you in the best option available for you and your family, save you some money, save you some stress.
So remember, if you have any questions about our market, we'd love to serve you. Just give us a call. The phone number is right down, and just give us a ring, hit us up. We'll do a Zoom call with you. If you see a property you love, we'll go out and video for you and show you around the property. But we'd love to get connected with you before you get here so that we can have figured out what you need when you get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Alan.
I'm Brent.
And we are Encore Group at eXp Realty. We're here to serve.